Michael, I think you always suspected this was going to be a tricky occasion. Exeter coming on the bad run, the form and the conditions. It turned out that way.
Yeah, I think you're right, John. In the end, this was always going to be a tricky game. These are the tricky ones for us. Like the weather added to that as well. But we knew like they would come and stiffen it up and try and stifle the game and slow the game down and play for a moment. And we've had enough chances to win that game. We should win that game. We'd be frustrated at drawing it. But we shouldn't concede that goal. We can't concede that goal. We should come off the pitch frustrated at 0-0. So it's a soft one to take, but I think we had enough chances to win the game.
George had a save to make until then.
No, not really. A couple of crosses, maybe a couple of set pieces that he did well on. But yeah, we were so on top of the game. We made changes to go and win the game. We were getting on top of them second half, even against the wind. But we've had 3 or 4 big chances in that game to win. But like I said, this is part of us evolving because teams are going to come here and make it difficult for us and play for that one opportunity, and we need to be switched on for when that drops at the edge of the box, that people need to react to things. And yeah, that's a disappointing thing. I think we'd be so disappointed with a 0-0. That's the reality. But we're gutted that we've come off that pitch losing the game.
We talked about expectation level before, but the crowd I thought stayed with you pretty well. They were frustrated, yeah, because you didn't score a goal for only the second time all season, but they really did stay with you.
Yeah, I think that you could feel it. Like I think the crowd have been magnificent. They were magnificent again today. You could feel the team that wanted to win the game. Like I said, we were the ones on the ascendancy trying to win the game. We were the ones trying to score that goal, but then probably we just weren't clinical enough in front of goal today. I think there was 50 odd touches in the box. You have 50 odd touches in the box, you should win that game of football. But in the end, our final calmness in front of goal, that little bit of quality that we needed, and at times taking 2 touches when we should take 1 to finish, maybe trying to be too cautious with the finish a little bit. We didn't need to be, and in the end we haven't done enough to win it in the final third, and we need to do that. And like I say, when teams come here and make it very difficult with a back 5 and a 5-3-2 if you like, it becomes difficult. But I thought up until the final third we did enough to win the game, and those final actions have let us down today.
You're always going to miss a player of Connor's quality, but Evan came in and he got the player of the match award, I understand. Yeah,
I thought that we'll always miss quality, but we have the depth, like we said, so I don't think that was any issues. Like in the middle of the pitch, the 2 boys, Bayliss and Evan, did well. The defensive line, you can look across the team and say we had some good performances, but again, like we shouldn't come off losing that game. We should come off at least frustrated about the 0-0. But honestly, we should win the game with the chances we had. We had big moments to win that game, and we should put the ball in the back of the net, which is frustrating.
Because of the postponement at Bradford next week, you've 2 weeks now to prepare for Stevenage, which is a big match at the top of the table. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that you've got 2 weeks?
It's probably a good thing for us, I think. Just to regroup, refresh. Of course, we want to keep momentum, but this is the league. These games where teams can beat anybody, and you've seen that today. We have to make sure we finish. We have to be clinical. We have to be on it every single way. And it's not like we weren't on it with the tactics or getting up the pitch. And I think the wind made it might have evened it a little bit. I thought the referee at times could have played quicker. It was a bit slow. So all the tactics they come with, slowing the game down, making it difficult for us. I thought we dealt with that okay. And again, it's just the amount of touches and chances you have, you want to put in the back of the net.
And I'm sure you feel you've got the characters in the dressing room to just put this behind you and move on to the next game.
Oh, we've got some great characters, they're gutted as well. I can feel that, I can see that. But again, it's the biggest thing we need to learn. As we keep evolving as a team, that teams will come and do this to us. And the first goal is so important in these games. If we score one of our chances first half, it's a different game. But it isn't, and they come for that moment, and they've got that moment, and we weren't good enough in switching on at that time. But again, I don't think that's the problem. It was the other end of the pitch today where we didn't score enough.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.